Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, RegisKillbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game. And this is my latest Decksperiment, where I try to experiment with a cool or interesting new deck idea, and then make it work live on the spot. And this time around, my challenge was to build a warrior deck that utilizes the card from Unguro, Sudden Genesis, a card which really hasn't been seen at all, which I have to say is a pretty difficult challenge to take on. But at the very least, I tried my best. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck creation process as it was recorded live on my Twitch stream. So, clearly, as you might be able to tell from the title of the deck here, Sudden Genesis. This is a card that came out with Journey to Unguro, clearly, and thus far, it's a card I have not seen anybody use very successfully, but I think it's always unfortunate when a rarer card, in this case an epic card, or certainly legendaries too, don't tend to get played, because there are a lot of people out there who have gotten this card in their packs and never really got to use it, and probably ended up dusting it, which is sad. Some people out there don't dust cards because they want to have a complete collection, so they're stuck with a totally dead card, and that's also sad. So now you have to think about, can we make this card work? What kind of warrior deck might actually inspire some Sudden Genesis plays that are good instead of bad? And so far, I haven't really seen anyone do this. There might be a few decks out there. I'm sure some people will link some fun decks and stuff that have played with this to some extent successfully. Thus far, I have not seen any. So this is going to be a real shot in the dark for me as far as building a deck around this successfully, because I don't know where to start other than, of course, that with a card like this, I think you're going to want some damaged minions. And in fact, you're probably going to want a deck that really benefits from damaged minions, so that, you know, typically damaging your own stuff isn't good unless there's some sort of extra benefit from doing so, like enrage minions, of course. And this doubles down on that sort of risk versus reward of enraged or damaged minions. But it needs to do so in a really powerful way for this card to make sense. In other words, I think you have to think about this card as sort of a... It's a win more card in many ways, right? Because you have to have successfully established minions on the board to really get value from this. But there are a lot of other win more cards that are still playable cards as long as they're sort of finishers, right? There's things like Bloodlust, for instance, is a win more card. Savage Roar is a win more card, but that's because they allow you to really finish games. I think the biggest risk here, though, is that without things like Charge, and for instance, the old Charge Raging Worgen combo that was all about an enraged minion charging, this would have worked great in that, but since that got nerfed, I don't know how to really utilize this as a finisher. I don't, in other words, if you have a couple damaged minions on board, unless it's exactly Grom Hellscream that survived a turn, like, how do you actually use it to do damage to win the game? So I think I have to skew a little bit away from that style of thing, where it's about finishing the game or some sort of combo aspect off enraged minions, because I just don't see how that could possibly work. I think we have to move a little bit more towards like a value line of play. So in other words, maybe just having 2 damaged taunt minions out there, plus Sudden Genesis, just makes your board that much more resilient or scarier, and it denies your opponent from coming back. So in other words, it's about mana efficiency. Getting a couple 4-drops for a 1 5-mana spell could be really good. Or maybe even, in fact, if you take it a step further, maybe you hang a damaged Death Rattle minion out there, right? And the Death Rattle is really powerful, and then you use Sudden Genesis. Maybe you just get 1 minion back, but it's such a powerful minion that you're duplicating that you're sort of doubling that effect and doubling that exponential value of such a good, strong minion with only a 5-mana cost card. So I don't know if any of that made sense. It felt like I was rambling just a little bit, but let's just go through and first look at enraged minions, and then we'll look at sort of high-value minions that would be amazing to copy, minions that are typically going to survive. I think an emphasis on Death Rattle in particular makes a lot of sense, because Death Rattle minions tend to leave stuff behind, or give you a stickier board that's easier to copy for bigger swings off of Sudden Genesis. So like I said, let's just take a look at enraged minions first here. And I'm going to move over to chat here in a second. We need more than just Unguro here. I'm going to look over to chat to see what insights you guys might have as well, because I'm sure there's going to be some people who make some great suggestions here to help me guide this deck. And I think that's awesome that we can have a bit of a collaborative process here. Hey, Colossus. Hey, Hunter. Hey, Gayarino, Cripperino. Hey, Mother Potato. Yeah, I see you fixed your caps. Nicely done, dude. Looks good. Matches your Twitter name now. Hey, Empire Buffet. Hey, Ryad. Dark Pentagram. Beautiful Flow. Crazed Cheese. A lot of the regulars swinging by. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping in, as always. Colossus26 says, Daring Reporter could be a good target for Genesis, or even Cairn. See, those are the kinds of suggestions I'm looking for here. Like, Daring Reporter is cool, right? Because it's the kind of thing that if you get multiple ones out there, it can really snowball out of control. Maybe even a card like Questing Adventurer, right? If it's the kind of card you get out there and they damage it and you get multiple ones on board, could really snowball out of control. I think Grim Patron would have been a great example of a card to utilize with Sudden Genesis. Unfortunately, that would be a wild-only deck, and I think I want to stick to Standard for now. Because there's so many great people making wild content right now. I just don't think I can make that transition smoothly and effectively because I don't know enough about the meta. But that would be a cool utilization for Sudden Genesis. So those kinds of cards. Panupa Kip says, if you're going to self-damage, Frothing Berserker is an obvious inclusion. Another great suggestion, one of those really high-threat cards that getting multiple instances of on the board could do a lot of work. Even if you spend 5 mana for, like, you know, an extra Frothing Berserker and something small, it would still be a big play because that's another Frothing Berserker that your opponent actually has to deal with. King Mosh sounds cool. Cairn, people like. Frothing Berserker, good ideas all around, guys. I like all of these suggestions for sure. Tal Schneider says, hey Regis, big fan. I hope it'll be a good vid as always. Yeah, I hope so too, dude. But thank you for suggesting that all of the vids are good. Whirlwind and Cruel Taskmaster might be pretty good in this kind of deck. Exactly the kinds of cards we're thinking about. Caritas, absolutely. We need activations for the damages as well. Let's see. Double Golden Ultra Sword, do it. That's definitely not going to happen. The Oracle that board clears since your minions have higher health. The only problem with that, and I think also Primordial Drake, is that those are 6 mana plus cards, so you can't combo them with Sudden Genesis. Like, you need to be able to combo any Whirlwind effect with Sudden Genesis itself, right? So you can do it in a single turn that way and really help swarm the board. But, you know, I mean, let's just start adding in some cards that make sense, right? Like, Grom is a card that can sometimes survive. Plus, he's just a great warrior card in general. This is sort of the Enrage approach. I honestly don't know that any of these work particularly well, though, except maybe Tauren Warrior because it's a taunt. But Spiteful Smith could be cool as like a weapon buff strategy, right? You could essentially give your weapon like +4 attack if you Sudden Genesis a Spiteful Smith that has been damaged. But I just don't think that card's good enough in general to really make that strategy work very successfully. So, Nick the Greek and Gooba, guys, thanks for the follows, by the way. I missed you earlier, but certainly appreciate you offering a vote of confidence with a follow. So, guys, I think what's going to happen here with this deck creation process is I'm just going to throw in a ton of stuff that makes sense to me. So, Whirlwind effects, minions that benefit from being damaged, that kind of stuff. And then we'll start to pair back on the list and, like, define maybe a strategy or a line of play that works and utilizes the cards that are in the list that make a lot of sense. So, for instance, Ravaging Ghoul makes a ton of sense because it damages minions while developing a threat, sets up with Sudden Genesis really nicely because it's so cheap, right? That's the kind of thing we're talking about. I mean, Sleep with the Fishes also kind of works in a deck like this, maybe, just because, you know, it's not always about just our minions. Sometimes you do still need, like, the board clears and stuff, so maybe this is the kind of card that we run as a backup plan. You know, it could kill our stuff if we don't have the Sudden Genesis. If we do have the Sudden Genesis combo, that would be pretty unfortunate, but moving on beyond that, it might just serve as a good removal to help us utilize all of those Whirlwind effects we're running anyway. So like somebody suggested, Cruel Task and Whirlwind are both pretty cool ideas because this could just be like an activator on a Frothing Berserker to summon 2 Frothing Berserkers with Sudden Genesis, right? There's all kinds of stuff you could do. Maybe Blood to Ichor, just as another cheap damage activator. I mean, this is starting to already take the shape of sort of a tempo warrior list, it feels like, which might not be bad. Like, that might be the best way to do this. And just try to hit some big swings off Frothing Berserker and Blood of Brave, you know? I kind of like that idea in general. It makes some sense to me. A card like Ally Armorsmith would be insane because it has so much health. To double this card could be really, really strong. And it's the kind of card that tends to just linger because your opponent doesn't feel like it's necessarily always a big threat or simply doesn't have what's necessary to kill it. even a card like Armorsmith kind of makes sense, right? Like getting multiple damaged Armorsmiths just means you get more armor as a survival option. Now, clearly, like I said, I don't know that all these cards are going to make the cut. We can dial it back. Just looking at other Whirlwind effects, maybe. Charlord's kind of a cool card, right? But expensive. King Mosh could go in here as a another sort of Whirlwind King Mosh play. If we do that, maybe we just go ahead and cut the Sleep with the Fishes. This could be like a late game option. Plus, it's just a big card, too, right? That if you summon a copy of a 9/6, for instance, you'd feel pretty happy. I'm pretty sure one card I want is not this one, but where is Hogger? Here he is. Hogger Doom of Elwyn seems insane in this deck. Like summoning a copied, damaged Hogger that's, you know, it would become really difficult for an opponent to remove that kind of minion. That seems like it could be a really, really powerful strategy. I mean, cards like Ysera kind of make sense just because they're really high health targets. Oh, what about Sogoth? What if we move this as like, you know, sort of a Tempo Warrior but with more control elements? Like imagine getting 2 Sogoths on the board. That's the kind of game-ending value play that I'm looking for, right? Like, it's not about like charging damage or anything. This is like straight up just winning the game. 2 5/8 Sogoths means your opponent just cannot get through them, right? Like, that's kind of sick. So, and it's the kind of card that tends to survive a turn or two, maybe. So, it seems like it could work. I just had an idea, though. Like, what if you did, like, a damage combo with Leroy, guys? I guess you couldn't. You'd have to utilize some cost reductions. Because you could theoretically, like, Leroy, Whirlwind, Sudden Genesis for 12 damage and kill all the whelps that you summoned. But that's too much mana. We can't do that. We can't. It doesn't all fit, so I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. I mean, like I said before, like value minions like Cairn could do a lot just because, you know, getting 2 front half Cairns out is fantastic, and it's the kind of a minion that your opponent just doesn't want to have to kill because there's just too much going on with it, and they feel like they kind of waste it. You know, a card like Barnes fits in a deck like this, maybe, because it's, well, no, the 1/1s don't really work. The 1/1s don't work because those don't take damage, so they would kind of just die. Wow, you could do a water package combo. I gotta think about this for a second, guys. So imagine you play Finja. Oh my god, this might be a play. Because Finja's stealthed. You know, the water package with basically double Murloc War Leader, Bluegill Warriors. If it summons a War Leader and a Bluegill, and you use some sort of Whirlwind effect, and then you play Sudden Genesis, you're going to get a second War Leader and a second Bluegill every time. And you might even be able to play additional Murlocs on top of it, too. So you'd basically be getting, like, you know, a 3/3 or a 3/2 and a 3/2 War Leader that buffs itself. They both go to 5/3s. They buff the Bluegills to 6/2 at that point, I guess, or 6/1 because they'd be damaged. No, it'd be 6/2. So you get a 12 damage combo that also established a couple 5 attack minions. Huh. I wonder if that's a line. I'm curious what you guys think about the water package. I'm going to give you just a second to catch up here, but I think that's kind of intriguing. So people are suggesting Rampage. That's a good idea. Basically copy a buffed Rampaged minion. Commanding Shouts, Primordial Drake. I think Primordial Drake, as I mentioned a bit previously, is probably just too expensive to do it because it doesn't combo necessarily with Sudden Genesis. Explore Unguro is crucial. Cairn, possibly Bitter Tide because it's so big. Oh, I like the idea of that, but that sounds kind of risky. Smash Brothers says, Reese, did you think of having Tony say aha when you get a new follower?
Golden legendary!
Just got my wisdom teeth removed and see you are streaming. You just made my day, cause I'ma be in pain later. Take my money, Dad.
Thanks so much, Guadalupe, for the donation, dude. That's really nice of you. And sorry to hear about the wisdom teeth. That's always a big journey in life, and it's still going to suck a little bit, dude. So I'm happy to know that I can help a little bit, perhaps, in the recovery process, dude. But again, I appreciate the donation. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. Earlier you called Hogger Doom of Elwyn, Hogger Tyrant of the Veil. Oh, which one's Tyrant of the Veil? What card is that? Where did I make that up from? That's a card too, right? Oh, it's Mookla, Tyrant of the Veil. Hogger, Doom of Elwyn. Forgive me. With the really arbitrary card names that Blizzard adds on to the end of named characters now. I think you just locked yourself into Genesis Murloc. I kind of like it. Mighty Rice says, don't like the Murloc idea, too low of health. But what if it's not about survivability? What if it's about, like, damage? That could be a question. I'm not really sure. Battle Rage and Blood Warriors might get you extra resources. That's a cool idea. Regis, if you play N'Zoth and Death Rattles with Umbra, if you play Genesis, Umbra instantly triggers Death Rattles like Sylvanas or Cairn, or Water Package is a more aggressive option. Yeah, I kind of like the Water Package idea, but maybe it's just a little bit too much like Water Warriors we've seen in the past. Papa Regis, thanks Guadalupe again, dude. Surprised someone hasn't donated with the name Ultrasaur. I'm surprised too. Surprised you're right. Surprised Ultrasaur hasn't come back to get his revenge for my recent YouTube video, which named him the worst card in Journey to Enguro. What about Molten Giants, guys? No, maybe not Molten Giants. What about Arcane Giants? Copying, like, Arcane Giants for super cheap could be cool, but I don't know if that's strong enough. I'm like torn now. Do we want to go more mid-rangey? Do we want to go more control? I just can't decide. Because right now where we sit, like, this is not a terrible just tempo warrior list. Like, it does a couple different things well. Sudden Genesis basically just gives you extra resources. I kind of like where the deck is at right now. Like, I don't think it's bad at all. What about Blood of the Ancient One? That takes so long to activate, though. I just don't think it would work. I just don't think it would work. So let's do this. Let's do this, because this might be a... Like, Battle Rage could be great in this deck just for card draw. It makes a lot of sense with all the whirlwind effects and stuff. Rampage I kind of like. Blood Warriors I kind of like. I don't know if we need the removal from King Mosh as a backup option. The same thing with Sleep with the Fishes, sort of backup cards. It goes slightly counter to our strategy. I still like that, though, because it is just a... You know, you're not always going to be ahead on the board, and sometimes you do need catch-up mechanisms. But we might just have enough taunts and true whirlwind effects to do that anyway. This curve feels just a little wonky with all the 2-drops now and the early game cards. But, you know, some of it's card draw with Battle Rage and stuff. Like, I think Slam would also be a good addition to the deck. Good addition to the deck. I just wonder now, though, am I, like, too close? I wonder if I'm just too close to, like, a standard tempo warrior list. And I don't know that Sudden Genesis actually is going to make a difference. I don't know that's a bad thing, necessarily. We've got some cards that clearly just are in here to benefit from Sudden Genesis as really powerful mid to late game plays to help us really swing a board in our favor and win the game. Particularly things like Hogger, Cairn, Grom, maybe not so much, but Sogoth in particular. Like, this list doesn't feel bad. I'm tempted to go with the Water Packets, but I'm almost thinking, like, if we try this out and it totally fails, maybe we come back in 45 minutes or an hour, we toss some cards out, and we throw in a Water Package as well to see if that makes more sense with Sudden Genesis. Because that's really just 5 cards. I think we could easily cut 5 cards here to make it make sense. Stoner 6 suggests the slower route. He likes that idea. That sounds good too. I think that's where I'm going to land, which we're already pretty close. Can you show the deck with which you used for taking rank 5 on the ladder? Sure, real quick. Get a screenshot ready, because this is also on my Twitter if you want to pull that up as well. It's just a straight-up face hunter deck. Super aggressive, do damage to the face, only trade when it really makes sense to preserve your own resources. Screenshots in 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's also on Twitter, like I said, if you didn't get time there. Yasharaj? Oh man, I always want to run Yasharaj, but I don't know if that's gonna work. Try a control deck with late game Genesis value. Brawl and Acolyte of Pain seem like must-haves. Pyromancer is an interesting idea. Krahe Hound. I like Brawl and Acolyte as ideas too. Don't get me wrong. Is this not enough card draw though? You think? Battle Rage, Slam. Sudden Genesis is sort of card draw, right? It's like card generation, resource generation. Not the same, but similar. I mean, is copying an Acolyte that strong of a play? I don't know that it is. Maybe it is. Brawl is definitely an important backup card, but I just don't know what to cut at this point. Maybe the Armor Smiths are the weakest option. Maybe we toss in a Brawl just because we're gonna definitely play a more control style of game here. An Acolyte could work, maybe one of each. Maybe if we run an Acolyte, we don't need a Slam. Double Acolyte. Perhaps I even like cutting Blood to Ichor better than Slam. I think Slam is going to be more useful than Blood to Ichor on average. Can still activate Grom, can still damage our minions or theirs to set up executes, but a little bit more card draw. Because this kind of deck, I think you do need some card draw. Do we just have enough threats now is the question. I don't know. I'm not sure that we have enough threats. Should I make Grom or Jaraxxus? Both are great crafts depending on the class you want to play, so I can't really pick one or the other. I'd say Jaraxxus on average has been more useful, and it's the kind of card that's just a game-winning card, which is nice, Hunter. So I really like the Blood of the Ancients just because it's spicy. Can buff for more health. That's an interesting interaction. Who was that? Hold up, I missed your name. Tequila Potato. We have a couple of potatoes in chat. That's really interesting. What about Primordial Drake? Amazing card in general, but I think it's too slow here because it's just, you know, that's an 8-mana play. Sudden Genesis thing comes later. Plus it's dealing 2 damage to our minion instead of 1. And we have a lot of activators right now. We have Cruel, Whirlwind, Ravaging Ghoul, Blood to Ichor, even Slam. So I think we're going to be okay as far as copying our own stuff via doing damage to it. Plus sometimes you're just going to trade to do the damage as well. You don't always necessarily have to activate it. Yeah, you can suggest videos, Stoner 6. I appreciate it a lot, in fact. It's great when you guys suggest videos that you'd like to see. Top 10 coolest animations and top 10 cards you'd like to see not yet in the game. Both awesome suggestions, dude. Particularly the second one is something I think I could do very well. The animations one might be a little bit harder to pull off. What about the 3/5 Enrage Troll dude? I just don't think he's strong enough on average. Like, yeah, he's a fine arena card, but I don't know. Wait, hold on. Are the Ragers not elemental? Which Ragers? Magma Ragers and so on? I don't know. They feels like they should be, but I don't actually think they are. The deck needs Millhouse Mana Storm. Honestly, guys, I kind of like where the deck's at. I think we're going to give this a shot. I think it's close. The Acolytes are a good change. You do need card draw, because we have a lot of like low-cost stuff. We could peter out of gas real fast without card draw. And then these late game threats do work pretty cool with Sudden Genesis. Like, they're all 2-turn combos is the only issue I have, right? Like, these are the kinds of things that take a couple turns. But we have Frothings and Bloodhoofs, too, to also get value from, like, mid-game minions with Sudden Genesis. It's like, particularly, like, this on 3, into this on 4, into this on 5 is a play that could be really crazy good. So I think we have a little bit of both, like late game, more control stuff, more mid-rangey stuff too. Multiple ways to achieve value off of Sudden Genesis, which I like. So let's give it a shot. Let's see. Like I said, if it totally seems like it's a failure, we'll come back and make some adjustments because we have time to do that. We can do that. But let's jump into some games and see it in action here. Oh, Stoner 6 is recommending, God, I can't even think of the name. The 2/7 Troll dude. That's what I'm going to call it too, because I can't remember its name right now, even though it's been around for 3 years. You'd think I'd know all of the classic cards by now, like 1,000 times over. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, honestly. Kind of serves the same idea as Frothing Berserker and such. Paladin, we're definitely going to keep Fire War Axe here. I'd like to see some Whirlwind effects and stuff too to deal with the early Murloc onslaught. I don't think this is a card we ever want to see on our opening hand, unfortunately. Execute's probably not going to do a ton of work either. Frothing Berserker, at the very least, might make some trades and stuff, just as a defensive, can't-be-ignored kind of target, which is always nice. Interesting. Bit of an odd hand, but I can live with it. How long have you been playing Hearthstone for? About exactly 3 years, M. Raiden. Pretty much exactly 3 years. Alright. Guess it's not Murlocs. I hate playing this on 3, but it actually contests a little, right? Honestly, I haven't seen this card that much. I thought it'd be more prominent. I mean, it's around, it's a tech card. It's, you know, it does what it's supposed to do, as a tech card would, but that was pretty brutal. It's gonna be tough to outvalue this guy. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. I don't know if I like that. It lets me kill the... Really bad hand here. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill it, guys. There's no extra value coming out of that. That was rough, by the way. That was rough. He has the Dalaran Flame card back. Indeed he does. It looks good, too. It's a really nice card back. That's good news that he didn't get Tyrion off the Stonehill, at least. That's something to be proud of, happy about. Hello, dwarf. Greetings from Poland, bro. I'm not a dwarf. I'm fairly tall, but thank you for the kind words, Pytek, and it's awesome that you're from all the way around the globe. Creepin' Pete says, recently unpacked Blood Mage Thalnos and recommend cheap decks for him. Your input would be nice. I don't know that there's necessarily any super cheap decks right now that utilize Thalnos very well. You could always do something like an aggro shaman, maybe, that could do it with, you know, benefits from Lightning Storm. Well, Lightning Storm's not necessarily an aggro shaman, but there's a lot of benefits from Thalnos and aggro shaman. Just all the damage spells and stuff. And I have seen aggro shaman creeping back up the tier list this expansion already, so that might be one route to look into. Just, I don't know how cheap that is necessarily, but Armor Smiths, we definitely toyed around with that one. Thought it made a little bit of sense, but ended up cutting it a tad. Jonathan Harsh says, Slyman, learn to be patient. People are leaving play. Well, if people don't like to watch deck creations, that's totally fine. That's their prerogative. I don't have a problem with that, but we're going to definitely create the deck and give it due service. So, like someone else there said, take your time, be patient. Hearthstone is not a game about speed. If you're looking for a high-octane experience, I don't think Hearthstone's going to give it to you. So guys, is this just worth it already? Like a Sudden Genesis, just like trade Sudden Genesis? The problem is, of course, it's like a 1-2 Cairn. It's not really that good. Whirlwind absolutely sucks here. I can Battle Rage, I guess. I'll just trade in Battle Rage and see what we get here and hopefully find a good play. The Axe really doesn't accomplish much yet, but I guess I'll load it up just because I can. I just don't think copying a 1-2 Cairn that also plays that, you know, summons a Chillwind Yeti is worth it. It's like, is a Chillwind Yeti and a 1-2 minion worth 5 mana? Just about, but that's not a great play, right? It's just an average play. So I don't think that's going to do the trick for us. Donald Duck says, have you ever faced the Aviana Kun, Ragnaros, Moat Lurker, Faceless Deathwing combo before the rotation? I have not faced it, but I have certainly seen it. It was crazy cool. It was a lot of fun. How's the weather there? Here we've had 2 tornadoes. Yikes, dude. Weather here is good right now, but fairly recently we had a ton of pretty bad flooding that was causing people some problems. I guess I can just Whirlwind Execute, trade into this one. This hand is just very awkward, it feels like. And it's just like I don't have any good stuff coming, right? I don't know. Sogoth is pretty good. But it's dead to Equality, which is, you know, Paladin's specialty here, so. Just how weak is this play? I'm not sure we have enough minions. Hey Regis, it's my first time writing in the chat. Well, hey FIFA. I've been watching you for some time now. I just want to say that I love your stream and YouTube. Keep it up. Thanks for the kind words, FIFA. That means a lot. Thanks for taking the time to stop by chat and say some nice things. Deeply appreciated. Tomas Malavasi says, great watching you, Regis, as always. Thanks again, dude. Do you recommend I replace Primal Fin Lookout? I feel like there's a better card for my mid-range Murloc Paladin. That one is just a tad too slow, I think. I don't know what your list looks like, so I don't know how to make a recommendation. But I mean, there are certainly some good Paladin lists out there right now, so you can probably find one. I cannot play Sogoth into that. I can like Blood to Ichor, Cruel Execute, but then I don't have anything else to do. I clear the board. I have a 2/2 on the board. I have two 2/2s on the board. I guess that's the best possible play right now. We're just real far behind at this point. Like, real far behind. I just don't think we have what it takes to beat this deck right now. That was at least his real Tyrion, not the fake Tyrion, which is nice. I don't see it in the cards, guys. Because even if we do some kind of crazy Sudden Genesis play, it's just Equality Consecration and we're just dead zone. Equality just beats us. He still has 9 damage on the board, so he can't play Sogoth. Ravaging Ghoul does absolutely nothing. Grom does nothing. This is just bad. I'll just Grom face and maybe he won't kill it. I don't know. There's nothing else to do. It's like the worst play ever, but maybe he doesn't kill it. Maybe we somehow pull off a Sudden Genesis with it and win the game next turn, right? Like, maybe he just thinks it's not a threat at 4 health. He's got 23. Like, what could it matter? Maybe there's some way to win the game here. Like, Cruel Task into Sudden Genesis wins us the game if he doesn't answer it, right? We don't have the Cruel Task, but... And it's gonna die. He should just trade. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's weird that he did it that way. He valued his own health more than the minions. I find that really intriguing. Huh. I can play Sogoth now, at least. But again, Equality is just this card's real problem. Real big problem here. Still can't play Sogoth. It just dies. I have to ensure I get value out of it. I can't even, like, Frothing Ravaging Ghoul Sudden Genesis. I think I just Hero Power Pass. This is real bad. Daniel says, "Hey Regis, I love your beard." Thanks, dude. Creeping Pete says, "What's your view on Silence Priest?" It's pretty strong. It's good. They gave it some cards that make it even better. So Purify somehow is a good card in this world we live in. Hey, can we add you on Hearthstone, says Rexon. No, my list is full. I'm not opposed to it, but it's just that the list is full, so it's actually impossible to do that. Well, I gotta make a play now. Like, I just have to. We're gonna lose. It's not the best play, but it's a play. If only we had mana for this somehow. He can still just kill everything. I mean, it's not even hard, necessarily. Like, you can see why this card is so awkward already. Like, I feel like it's just super awkward. Have you yet decided this deck is any good with Thanos? Currently stuck at rank 15. I know it's funny since some rank 5 and even some legend players are hanging around here. Yeah, people tend to rank up slow sometimes, so get stuck with... get stuck at lower ranks occasionally. It's possible. Sometimes it just takes a lot of grinding to finally push yourself out of a rank. Regis, you hyped about Metallica's tour. No, I'm not. Nothing against Metallica. They're fine. Just not into music all that much, so not hyped. But it sounds like you're hyped, which is awesome. Can I play Sogoth? Nope. Brawl? Glad of Pain doesn't do much, guys. Oh, doesn't do a lot here. Doesn't do much. Ixel Bryan's a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, huh? That's good to know. Seems useful. Kibler recently made a rant video on Quest Rogue saying how absurdly easy it is to complete the quest. Thanks to Prep. Blizzard listened to him once already when Ragnaros was removed. Hopefully they listen to him again. Yeah, that'd be cool. I agree, it's a pretty frustrating card. So we're just dead. This might keep me alive. 6-3, nope. We just never had it in the... It was never in the cards this game. Basically, Gluttonous Ooze here signaled our demise almost immediately. And we just never got ahead of that guy. I think we have to be a little bit ahead to make Sudden Genesis good. I don't feel good about this deck, guys. We're trying, but I just don't feel good about it. In what way is a computer like a golfer waiting for a cab? They both need drivers. I think you should go ahead and excuse yourself, not a night owl. I think you should just excuse yourself, good sir. Random thought, what minion type, if any, would you add in the next expansion? I think it'd be cool to see undead. We've never seen, like, undead, I guess, have we? It'd be fun. Change the background to your skin color so we can see your beard floating. Could also just paint my face green. I could Hulk out. Be about the same effect there. How would a Zuradrake affect this meta? It's an exclusive wild card right now, but what effect would it have in the meta? I think it'd still be played. I mean, I don't know. Is this just worth a whirlwind already? Just to blow the Razor Maw? We could Fire War Axe the Razor Maw on 2. It also prevents any sort of like hyena shenanigans. The question is this too good of a card to waste right now? How many other 1 health minions is he gonna play? Or how often might we need to like chip off health with this? I don't know that we'll need to. As long as we stay alive into turn 5, we've got some sort of answer. I'm gonna do it. I don't know if it's worth it. It's 1 for 1 on just a couple 1/1s, but they can snowball out of control so quickly we need to be careful. See, I hope he just plays a dead Razor Maw. He might coin a Huffer. We can still answer that with Axe. We take a lot of damage, but we have damage recovery. We're not worried about that so much. We have taunts, we have heals. Coin Huffer. Oh, coin Misha. Weird. Never seen that one before. What's this card? Well, it's intriguing. I think maybe I'll just load this up, and the next turn we can Whirlwind Acolyte trade. But this is gonna get, if this gets Razor Mauled, it's even worse. So I just go ahead and Whirlwind this again? On 3, he's got Eagle Horn, he could do some combination of Razor Maw, Jeweled Macaw, that kind of thing. Is it... I'm gonna do it. I want to keep the board clean. I might be using my resources a little too quickly here. But I think the first, like, 4 or 5 turns are going to be the most important in winning this game. There's, like, high main and stuff coming eventually, I know, that we have to worry about too, but I don't want to fall too far behind here. I'm going to call Razor Maul, looks like. Or maybe just new card he got here. Well, I've predicted literally everything except Huffer, so we're doing good on that front, but... Oh, man, that's so bad. That's so bad. The Acolyte lines up real nicely at least, but man, what do I do with this junk? Hopefully he doesn't hit the Houndmaster, because that would blow, but other than that, we're fine. Thinking the hero power is a good sign, I think. Not +3 attack, that would be bad. Wouldn't be terrible, I guess. +3 health is not the worst. We could actually go ahead and brawl, believe it or not. Let's just see what we draw, though. Bloodtaker. I could Bloodtaker this just to kill it and draw a single card. Of course, the most likely thing is to trade in here and maybe Bloodtaker our own Acolyte. It does less damage to the board, but gets me an additional card, which I think might be important. I'm okay with minions living because we do have the Brawl as sort of a catch-up here. Let's go ahead and see what we get off the Acolyte. That could certainly change our line of play quite a bit. And maybe it will. I think we'll just go ahead and play this. Contest the board. It's only 6 damage on board. It could easily get kill commanded. That's a reality we have to face. But let's just try it. If it lives, we can go ahead and Sudden Genesis it. In fact, we could Blood to Ichor something and Blood to Genesis, or summon Sudden Genesis. Goodness gracious. Are we getting any more adventures? I feel like I heard that we aren't, and I need to know if I need to save up gold. No more adventures, man. Nothing. Huh. Kind of feel like that needs to die. What kind of play can I make here? I can Blood to Ichor this. I think we got to pass on Sudden Genesis, right? Like, I think this needs to die. I'm going to draw 2 cards, or at the very least clear other stuff around it, right? I could trade Ravaging Ghoul. No, Blood to Ichor, Ravaging Ghoul. This would be alive as a 2/2. This would take 2 damage as an 8/6. These would die. I think I like this. Okay, let's draw first and see what we get. Karen is a tad slow, maybe, but... Drawing 1 more card here. Hopefully it's playable. I'd love to see, like, Axe. Not Axe. It's okay. Why did I think this was going to be at 6? I don't know that it matters, but that's what I said in my head for some reason. So hopefully he still can't get through this, right? And he has to trade this way. Does Sudden Genesis damage, some of them damaged? Yeah, I think so. My understanding of the card is certainly that it would, yeah. That is, like, insanely good top deck here, because he didn't show it last turn, so I just assumed he didn't have it, right? Because otherwise he would have shown it. But unfortunately he did not. Execute's pretty good. Perhaps even just execute Bloodhoof is fine. If he sacks this in, this goes to 5 attack, and this goes to 4 health. So, it should be okay. Oh no, that goes to 5 health, but still should be okay. He might trade this way first, which would be smarter, I think, but Brawl still cleans up. I just don't want 2 primary targets for the Brawl. Like, this is a good target, and the Hyena was a good target. So if we can Brawl after he's played a couple smaller things, that would line up a lot better. But he doesn't play any, so we're kind of stuck like this. We'll stick with the Karen, it's fine. Brawl is always our cleanup mechanism here. We can even Brawl Frothing after Hatches. Helps the Brawl a lot. He's going to go face, of course. I don't even think I need a Brawl actually now. I think we'll just trade the Karen Frothing. Hopefully play a taunt or something. Could Frothing then slam the Karen? That puts me down to 5. Trade. Could even Sudden Genesis at that point. Get a second Frothing that's buffed already. Let's try that. Oh no, we won't be getting a second Frothing. We'll be getting 1 Frothing. We'll be getting a second Karen. Well, we could get a second 2 health Frothing if we wanted. But I don't think that's worth it. Let's slam the Karen here. We don't have the mana anyway, I guess. I can't count mana. Oh, that's the best possible draw, I think. On-curve taunt is exactly what we need to protect this guy, and suddenly we have a ton of damage on board. Might even get a good Sudden Genesis off. But you guys can see, like, which of these cards are the most awkward cards every single time. Noise Beard, says Andreas. Thanks, dude. Hi, chat and dad. Hello, Mysterious C. Why do pirates suck at Hearthstone? They're standing on the deck. Oh my god. We're gonna have to ban this guy, I think. Just kidding. I like bad jokes, dude. I like dad jokes. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, dude. Not chill. Does it help really, though? Kill Command helps. Jeez. Don't Kill Command me again, bro. Is it Hunter's Mark or Kill Command? Kill Command. Might still be okay here. He does 8 to face, but are we just gonna get to kill him? Like, we have so much damage. 12, 14, not quite. Man, that's even more damage. Jeez. Well, I guess we'll just go this route. No, we might actually still be able to kill him, right? How much damage do we have here? $16, 19, so not quite enough. We'll have to trade this way now. Oh, that ping had hit, man. Gonna go ahead and do this because there's nothing else to do in this game that will matter, right? So he's got to do 7 damage with no kill commands and no Leroy. I don't know that it's weapon huffer hero power, I guess. Well, he doesn't even need the hero power. Weapon huffer. Weapon hero power is not enough. Huffer hero power is not enough. Yeah, I just don't know how he does it. I don't think I played that perfectly, but still won. Mecha Sushi X. Welcome, dude. Tier 1 deck. Yeah, that's right. Tier 1 deck indeed. I get 3 strikes and then I'm out when it comes to bad puns. No, you're fine. Throw out all the puns. Regis, do you use beard oils? Surprisingly common question, and the answer is no, I don't. I just use soap. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think a beard should pretty much live on its own, right? It's just, this is where your manliness lives. My manliness is tucked away in here somewhere, right? And I just don't feel like beard oils are all that manly. I mean, it's fine if people want to do it. I'm not going to judge somebody who uses beard oils. But for me personally, I just don't really see the need. I don't think it's worth it. Seems like a lot of trouble and time, but my beard holds up fine on its own, so why do I need oils for it? Maybe they do something awesome, I just don't know about it yet. Maybe I'm missing out on this amazing thing.
Is someone injured?
So, regarding some of the chat on adventures, that's good to know. They are not going to be doing adventures as we know them anymore where you get cards and stuff, but they are going to be doing like solo campaigns or something, right? Like little mini adventures where you still get to beat bosses and do single player stuff. It's just not going to be with card rewards and all the things that we understand adventures to be right now. Did this make a comeback like today? Because I've been playing a deck with a lot of damage and a lot of weapons with my Hunter deck, and I have not seen this card one time. It's like it came back exactly today. I don't understand when this card made its return. It's fine. He seems to think it's way more exciting than it is, because we don't really care about weapons or damage. We do care about that thing living, unfortunately. But unfortunately, we really only do 2 damage. I can play this down. It's just gonna die to Shadow Word Pain. That might be better than it being utilized to, like, Potion of Madness trade or something later, you know, killing it. Like, I guess that wouldn't really be any better or worse. In either case, it's non-ideal. But yeah, Gluttonous Ooze, I'm glad Gluttonous Ooze is making a comeback, or I don't even know if it's was ever here, but I'm glad it's being played. I think it's a great tech card. Regis is anti-hipster, only hipsters use beard oil. That might be true. Come on, guys, do you think Bran Bronzebeard uses beard oil? I'm pretty sure he doesn't, Johnny Spin. Like, you know, back in the Warcraft days, I feel like... Oh, wow, I don't really mind that at all. Okay. That is a play I can live with. It sucks that it was discounted, because that means he gets to heal here. Otherwise, we would have just been able to kill this. So the Radiant Elemental, as always, is wrecking. I think I got to draw a single card off this. I have no other good plays. Cruel Task does allow me to like kill one of these next turn if I want to for 6 mana. I don't know that it's my favorite play in history, but I'm a little bit nervous about where we stand. The longer this goes, the more shenanigans I'm afraid he's going to be able to pull off. Yeah, I'm Regis Bronzebeard, guys. You haven't heard of me in the... I'm like in Ironforge, dude, in the lore. Right there in town. Regis Bronzebeard. Finally, I got you in a live stream, says Yo Vaguderman. Well, welcome, dude. Shouldn't have said that my manhood was in my beard. Shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. That was an error. Ugh, I was bored. Double Ravaging Ghoul, nothing. I can kill the Gluttonous Ooze if I go Ravaging Ghoul, Cruel, Blood to Ichor. I might instead just Acolyte Ravaging Ghoul for card draw. None of this feels very good though, right? Killing a 3/3 that's the least valuable minion on the board just seems fairly pointless. A couple 2/2s, one of which would die to this. The 3/3 would die to this. You'd heal it back to 5. I don't really have a mechanism to do 5 damage either. Like, all this stuff has just a little bit too much health. I could just Acolyte Cruel, get a 3/2 Acolyte out. That would kill it. He'd be able to heal it back up. That accomplishes nada. Oh my god. I just have no plays here, guys. I don't know if this is right. It's just the first thing that we thought of. And does the most, I think. It's just, it sucks. Hopefully we can stick a Hogger and make it count. That's one out here. Cairn would be amazing against Priest, as you might imagine, with no Entomb these days. Jonathan Harsh says, hey Regis, idea for theory crafting series. Hero health is increased to 50, deck size is increased to 60, and standard rotation is no more. Looking at current decks, what would make the cut? It'd have to be something with insane, like, value generation. Aggro would die. And you'd have to have really good average card quality. Something like Mage would probably win out at the end of the day. Just because of stuff like Kabbalist Tome, all those cards, like, giving you extra value long term. I mean, Priest could too with like Lyra and Thought Steals and all that stuff. Warrior with armor would certainly be scary when the game was that slow. But I don't think they have enough armor generation these days without Justicar. So I don't think he just had like the best turn ever. He just used Shadow Word Pain, which makes this a lot better. This Hogger, he has 6 damage out. Does he have the other Shadow Word Death or not? That's the question. Or an Execute? Like, even Execute, at least I get a 2/2 out of it. This doesn't really do enough. I think I just play the Blind Hogger here and hope it does something. It's 9:15 in England. Thanks for the well-timed stream, Regis. You're welcome, man. Crazy that you're watching from all the way across the Atlantic. What part of England are you from? I'm really curious. Yeah, why are you not running Sleep with the Fishes? Asked Malchus. Because people talk me out of it. It'd be great right now, wouldn't it? That's exactly what we need. I don't see how I come back from this without Brawl, exactly. Brawl exactly would be good. Battle Rage. How much damage? 4, 7, 10, 11. So there's a chance we live even if I don't draw a Brawl or whatever off this Battle Rage. So I wonder if instead just Ravaging Ghoul, Acolyte, or excuse me, Acolyte, Ravaging Ghoul, Battle Rage is better. That's 3 cards instead of just 2. Doesn't really do anything to the board significant, right? And it denies me the Brawl this turn, but it could lead to a Brawl next turn, maybe. I don't know. Any Divine Spirit, Inner Fire stuff is going to kill me anyway, it looks like, so that may not be a really relevant consideration to make. I actually kind of wish I didn't have the Acolytes and I had to Sleep with the Fishes back, although card draw also seems like a problem. There's like 4 different problems right now in this deck. That's the biggest concern, I suspect. Here comes the Divine Spirit, Inner Fire. These Priests of the Feast, though, they've healed him for like 40 health. It's just he's been full because we've never done a darn thing. So that's pretty funny. Hey, Dillipus. Has this deck been doing good? I would not say that. Would not say that. Regis, when do you normally stream? I don't have a schedule right now, Ian, but I'm probably going to be posting one in the next week. And it will probably begin in June, as far as when I adhere to the schedule. So hang tight. I promise I'm working on it. Nick Vierzy says, hey man, glad I could finally catch a stream. Just started Hearthstone a month ago, and you were the first Hearthstone YouTuber I watched, and you've helped me a bunch with the game. Thanks so much, and keep up the great work. Those are my favorite kinds of things to hear, Nick, so thanks for sharing that little anecdote too, and I'm happy to help you on your Hearthstone journey, and I'm glad it's going well for you so far. So welcome to the game. Hope you continue having a lot of fun and hanging out here. Imagine how good Sleep with the Fishes would be here, guys. Well, that's something. I mean, might have to take the 5 attack off the board here, and I kind of want to try to hit a brawl. Like, Sogoth is intriguing, right? How much damage does he have? 8, 11, no, too much. 8, 10, 13, yeah, too much. Just give me the brawl. Nope. Alright, this card has just been absolutely useless so far, guys, as I expected it would. Absolutely useless. Skitney Harry, Regis, my good man, I have a Decksperiment idea. Quest Hunter, but instead of filling your deck with 1-drops, you use cards that give you 1-drops. Like the new Raptor, Firefly, Igneous Elemental, and play a more controlling game. Maybe a Death Rattle deck. $1 Million idea. Like that idea? It's a different spin on it. I'm trying to think if there are enough cards that give you 1-drops to make that work. I mean, you named a few there for sure, so maybe there are. Oh my god! No! Not my beloved! Oh no, I'm gonna lose to the worst card in Hearthstone. Or an Unguro at the very least. Oh no. Look at Sleep with the Fishes value though. My god. Oh, I just always want this to have been Brawl. Every time. I wish it was Brawl. Grom to take some damage off the board and set up a minion, I guess. This is just all so terrible. Maybe he ignores it and we get like crazy sudden Genesis value, but I doubt it. Probably just sends the Ultrasaur in here. That day Ultrasaur killed Grom Hellscream. He ate Grom. God, we got like UK politics chat happening in chat right now. I love it. Jerks says, hey Regis, nice to catch you stream live, but do you plan on doing any Decksperiments outside of the stream format? They're less interesting to watch on YouTube afterwards without the live chat. Probably not, to tell you the truth, just because I'm so crunched for time. Basically, I know, I totally agree, and this is always a concern from day one, was that the Decksperiments, or anyway, the live stream stuff put on YouTube is not the ideal experience. I understand that. But the problem is it's either I do it on, I live stream it and I utilize that content on YouTube, or that content just never gets made. In other words, I'm not sacrificing the regular YouTube stuff I'd be doing anyway. I'm still making exclusive YouTube videos too. That pace has stayed roughly the same. The live streaming stuff is all incremental on top of that. And essentially, if I didn't get to live stream it and double use that time, then it just wouldn't ever happen. So instead of thinking of it as like, oh, Regis is doing all these experiments, instead of, what is happening in the game, by the way? Am I still live? I think my Hearthstone just froze. I appear to still be live, right? You guys hear me? Am I here? I may have to quit Hearthstone here. Yeah, I think my Hearthstone froze. Well, that's a good game to freeze on, I gotta be honest with you. Like, if you're ever gonna freeze. So anyway, if you're worried that, like, this live streaming content's replacing other stuff, that's not the case. It's just all bonus content, I think, so. That's the goal, at least, and that's the mentality I'm trying to stick to. So guys, I'll, reload Hearthstone here, it looks like. It shows me dropping 0 frames, so I don't think that's the issue. Let me get this junk off the screen here. We'll have to redo the deck overlay. That sucks, but again, if it's ever gonna happen, that's the game it should happen to. Jerk says, don't get me wrong, love the extra content from the streams and videos on YouTube are still fun. Yeah, so that's exactly right. Like, you got it. I mean, it's extra. So I appreciate that, and I'm on the same page. Believe me, it's been my biggest concern with the streaming stuff. But I realized eventually that it gave me a second content generation process, because essentially that makes the live streaming stuff more worth it, and gives it some extra juice, basically, some extra incentives. So let's I'm gonna have to reset up the overlay here as we go live, guys. It sucks, but yeah, I don't know why Hearthstone sure has been buggy lately. It sounds like for a lot of people there. Let's see. Give me a second, guys. It's gonna be pink. It's gonna be pink, like always, I think. Can you guys still not see Hearthstone? Oh, you can. Okay. It's gonna be pink. Just chill. Don't freak out. Don't freak out, guys. There we go. Cool. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, I think I like Ravaging Ghoul and Whirlwind against Rogue, and Frothing Berserker is the kind of minion that gives me a win condition early, which is nice. In case this is Quest, which I think it is. Ultra Sword made me crash. That's absolutely right. He did watch my recent videos. I love watching you guys freak out about the pink. Not a quest, interestingly. So I think we can just take our time, right? Like coin Ravaging Ghoul maybe makes more sense than just Whirlwind here. He's just gonna hero power on 2, so what's the rush? Did I rhyme? I spat fire? Oh, I'm Ben Broad for sure then. Once you get to 500,000 subs and shave your beard, you should do a beard giveaway. I can't imagine there's a person in the world that wants my beard trimmings, if that were to ever happen. I just don't know who that person would be. I missed some follows here, by the way, guys. I'm so sorry. Therma, Tomasino, The Swant, My Name Is Not Bob, and Ian Cliff, or Ian Cliff. Thanks for the follows, guys. Let's see here. Andrea says, nice to catch a live stream. It's hard from Europe. I totally understand that, and sorry about that. But for the record, this is going to be a pretty early stream for me. Like, in the future, I will not likely be streaming this early often. So, it sucks that I have so many European... Well, it doesn't suck that I have European followers. It's great. But it sucks that I can't meet the needs of those European followers very well all the time. That's the unfortunate part of it. I think I'd rather him sap this than the Bloodhoof Brave, so let's just go ahead and play this. It's like an aggro tempo rogue or something. He's gonna get demolished if he's not careful, though. You deserve 1,000,000 subs, man. Thank Apostolus. That's a really nice thing to say, dude. I'm happy where I'm at, but more is always cool, too. It looks like Ravaging Ghoul Fire War Axe is a play. It's not ideal. Ravaging Ghoul Execute looks good too, maybe. Like, this is gonna be the biggest minion this guy runs, right? Like, his deck is Pirate Rogue. Like an aggro Pirate Rogue. He's not gonna run bigger minions than that. And it saves me 5 damage tanking it, you know? Can always develop the weapon next turn. We've got the Whirlwind to clean this up too if needed, so if he ignores our minion, we can still do work. Perhaps even with Frothing, we could do Frothing, Weapon, and Whirlwind for a crazy turn. He's gonna trade? Dark Iron Dwarf. Wow. I'm impressed, honestly. That's cool. Slam, Weapon, Hero Power might just be fine. We leave a thing up, but I don't know how good it is. Let's just slam first, see what we get. I don't think we can play the Frothing into that, so. Sounds like I got some bits, guys. Let's see what happened here. Jexhab Dune has used 1,000 bits? What? Or Jerks, sorry, I read your name wrong. Jerks has used 1,000 bits. That's crazy, dude. We do got a baller, McCurp. That's exactly right. Thank you, Jerks, for the 1,000 bits. That's clearly the top cheer ever The previous one was 501 bits. That, if you guys don't know, that's basically equivalent to a ton of money he's just dedicated to the stream here. So much appreciated, dude. That's fantastic of you. Such a nice thing to do. Greatly appreciated. You didn't throw out a message with your cheer, but if you'd like to leave a message, I'll certainly read it for you. No problem there, man. That's crazy, though. Thank you so much, dude. Now I gotta figure out how to not lose this game. It looks like Slam Whirlwind saves me some damage here. Let's try that first. Just Slam to open this up. So God, this is nuts. Maybe not yet. I think I'll just go ahead and Frothing Whirlwind, right? Like, that only leaves him with 3 damage and 1 card in the hand, and we're at 14, so... might just go ahead and kill this, too, because that means the Frothing gets to live more. Likely, anyway. But I don't have a great next turn. I mean, Battle Rage is a double card draw. I don't know what he can do with 2 cards, and I'm at 12 health. I think we're going to win here. Looks like we're just going to stabilize. Yeah, Moo 333 definitely got dethroned. Who's going to give 1,001? Well, that would be incredible. Regis Sellout Bot online. Yeah, you can donate via that link. That's exactly right. Oh my God! Alright, that's actually a problem. That is a lot of damage, and we're going to have to deal with it, I think. Do I have to kill this? Like, is there any reason to kill it? Sap is a reason to kill it. Yeah, I have to for Sap. That sucks. I think I have to, though. He ran a Sap. Sap would kill me because I couldn't armor up and play this, which I wanted to play this. I think this just wins me the game, though. You can see you get execute off that Swashbuckler. Do not tell me that's an execute. What?! Oh, this is actually a great draw because it means I can execute. Oh my God, otherwise I'd be in trouble. We can play the Frothing as well. Holy crap! I didn't get enough armor off that Armor Smith, but I still think we're okay. He's down to 2 cards. I'm starting to gain health every turn that he's not killing me. We got Sogoth coming down, presumably, which will shut him out of the game, I think, because he won't have enough damage to get over the top, and, like, he won't have enough Eviscerates, right, to kill me from hand, so... I don't see how he beats Sogoth here. We'll kill one of these just to prevent shenanigans. I mean, it's not likely to die to anything. Yeah, I think Sogoth wins the game there. That's awesome. No idea how to add a message. Have been trying to find a good way to support you since your first stream, since I was avoiding PayPal. Well, thanks, dude. I think to add a message, I'm not totally sure myself, but I think if you just, when you click the little bit button in the chat box, if you hit, like if you type in a message at the same time, I think it does it. But either way, again, appreciate the support, dude, and the kind words. It does mean a lot, and it goes very far, so thanks a ton. Twitch seems to be limiting me to around 10 bits per day, so it'll be a while before my next cheer. Is that when you're earning the bits for free, Moo333? I'm curious if that's how you're getting limited, or if that means purchasing them. I'm not sure what that means, but I like to learn about how all these different little systems work. Sagoon V13, do you think it's worth it to disenchant class cards from classes you don't play? For me, it's definitely not worth it. So, because I like to have every card in the game. Like, that's my ultimate goal, is to just have every card. So, for me, that would kind of hurt that goal, right? I'd be destroying cards I want, and I play every class. So I can't really say. I mean, I think that's a little bit risky, because there might be some day where, you know, your classes aren't necessarily the best classes, or don't seem to have great decks in the meta, and then you need cards from those other classes. Ultimately, it's going to be up to you and how you see yourself playing the game, and what's going to give you the most fun out of the game. I think that's an important distinction to make too, but it's just really hard to say. But I wouldn't personally, but that's not to say that it's wrong to do so. Apostolos asks, favorite hero? Thanks for all the help. I did a golden, legendary, and a normal from one pack, so I got you. I think you mean a pack blessing was pretty helpful for you. That's good to hear. As far as favorite hero, lately probably Mage. Historically speaking, Druid. I know he's going to heal this up, but I just wanted a card draw. I'm not even going to Blood Digger that, because then he gets to trade draw for free, or trade heal for free. Might regret that a little bit if he plays Northshire and gets a card draw, but I needed to cycle a card and use my mana somehow, right? This probably dies to Shadow Word Pain, but I think this is just going to be a really tough matchup for me. I don't know how we're going to win this one. There's a lot of different ways for him to beat me. What's your favorite card and why? Oh, that's such a tough question. I always have trouble with those. That's an interesting play. I might just go ahead and execute this. Is that bad? Just clear the board here, just trade, execute, like prevent all of his shenanigans, right? Maybe Blood Acre execute hero power is actually the best way to do that. Yeah, I think so. Saves the cruel task and the Ravaging Ghoul that way. Develops a little bit less of a minionness to some extent, but could have double executed, but we might need this one later for another target, right? So I think we just took a lot of the wind out of his sails, basically. Preemptively executing that. It's kind of intriguing. Paladin is something you can't play as free-to-play. That probably is pretty challenging, I would think. Oh, this hand. God, no. It's awful. I could Ravaging Ghoul Sudden Genesis for a 2-1 minion, but instead I think we just Hero Power Face. And we definitely did take the wind out of his sails. Like, he had all these combo pieces. But if we keep the board relatively clean, we might be able to shut down that stuff. Battle Juice says, having every card in the game that will release add-ons till the end of time. Good goal. Well, it's an achievable goal. It's already happening. I think we'll just Frothing Cruel, but I want this to go to 4 attack to start. So I'm going to do this part of it first, so it doesn't go to 5, right? And we'll just trade into that. I know this will die. It's not the best utilization of this, but I think it's okay. We don't want him to get multiple cards off this. So we basically trying to dodge both Shadow Word Pain and Shadow Word Death here. Yeah, it might hit eventually, but in the meantime we get to play a 4 attack minion that Priest has to... We might get some value out of it this way, as opposed to just dying to removal for free, which would suck. If we can land a Sogoth here before he establishes a big minion and like Divine Spirits it and stuff, we might be good. Because then we could just use Slam Execute to deal with any of the big stuff he plays. This is fine. He has so many cards in hand. What is he sitting on right now? Is it all combo pieces and junk? He needs minions. It sounds like. Oh, he's just going for a big Lyra already. Cool. He didn't leave himself much space here. Oh, he's got double Power Word Shield Shadow Visions or something though, probably, so he'll be fine. He might... No, he's not going to burn cards, but... Do we have lethal at all? If he plays some more stuff... Oh, silence means we definitely don't have lethal. But we could have, like, double Ravaging Ghoul Slam for, like, a ton of damage here. It would have given us 4, 8, 9, plus he was already at 4 is 13, 15 damage. Ugh, pretty good Lyra for not having a ton of mana. You got 2 0-cost spells there. And Inner Fire. Cycling pretty hard here. That's scary, to say the least. I guess I have to execute this. I don't think I can I get there? 6? Yeah, I can get there without execute. It would be nice to save and execute for like a big giant, thing he plays. Let's slam it first, see what we get. If I, what if I whirlwind my Karen down to 4/4? And then get ready for a Sudden Genesis. Alright, I think I'd rather just play the Karen at full health here. I could Sudden Genesis both of these, I guess. Doesn't seem good enough, though. I think I just like Karen, and we'll try to Sudden Genesis our Karen. See if that works. Alexander says, as you can see, I'm like probably the only guy that daily plays billion Shaman decks just to try and figure out the best one, even though Shaman is kind of bad now. You should try an aggro Shaman. I've seen it rolling up the Vicious Syndicate rankings. Looked like it was a tier 2 deck, so maybe a good aggro Shaman deck could do it. I was like, is that what I think it is in my headset? Am I hearing Yashiraj right now? Alright, the over-under for games that Regis will pull off a great Sudden Genesis is 1-2 any takers. It's not going to happen. There are no Sudden Genesis to be had here. So we can actually get, I guess, a pretty cool no, not a great Sudden Genesis. I mean, we can get a second Karen as we wanted to. So we can Ravaging Ghoul, execute the Yashiraj, and play Sudden Genesis for a second Karen and trade into the Northshire Cleric. I think we have to kill the Yashiraj, obviously, with execute, even though I was trying to save it or whatever. I don't think that's a big concern at this point. And I think I'll actually kill this, not the Northshire, because he has so many cards in hand. Like, he's not going to be able to benefit from card draw here. And that one did a little more damage, and of course benefits him when he has that many cards in hand. That much cost reduction goes pretty far, actually. Joseph Gomez says, "Sup, Regis, just joined. Glad to see you again." Right back at you, Joseph. I guess is that? No, I thought there was an accent over your name. It's just Joseph, but it was like a smudge on my screen. I thought it was accented, as in like a Hispanic accent, but Spanish accent, but. Blue Toad the God. I pretty much only play control if possible because aggro doesn't fit my playstyle. I think that's a fine mentality, man. I feel that way sometimes too. Holy Fire, okay. I still think we might be in this game with the double Karen Sogoth here. If we can just stabilize a big board, like I guess Dragonfire Potion goes quite a long way against this since he already killed the first half of one of these. But if we can keep his board free of stuff, I think we can reduce combo potentials and maybe just leverage the Sogoth so that it lives for a very, very long time. We also have like Grom as a finisher with Cruel for doing a ton of damage. Like we could pump him for 11 right now, put him at 19. He'd be already pretty darn close to the combo range. I'm just going to go ahead and load up the Sogoth here. I think we'll leave this alive still. I don't feel particularly incentivized to kill it. I mean, yeah, cards are great, but like I said, his hand is so full. It's like he's already going to have a full complement of options at any given time. I'm not trying to like overdraw him or anything. It's just that I think the stats are more important because it could affect Sogoth more likely, right? Holy Nova's a decent start here, I guess. There's the Dragonfire Potion I was worried about. I'll only use him with 9 damage on board. Grom would not be lethal yet. We're at 21 damage with Grom, I think. That's pretty intriguing. Oh, how good would a Sudden Genesis here be, though, too, man? Like a second Sogoth? I guess it's so damaged that it wouldn't be that good. I'm going to go fairly wide here. Is there any reason to kill this now just because I have such a big board? I guess so. It buffs the frothing a tad. And, I don't know. It might matter with a trade or something into this, or if he does some sort of Potion of Madness shenanigan. I don't know. It might give him a little bit of extra damage. Plus, we have enough on the board to probably win the game anyway. Like, squeezing in an extra 4 damage may or may not make the difference. Oh, my word. Is he going to be able to do 4? He's got enough mana for it, clearly. It's gonna be the biggest Frothing Berserker in history. He needs 3 more spells in 4 mana. It's certainly possible. He's gonna kill this, or he would have silenced this. He's clearly got it. I don't know if his math is gonna line up perfectly though, because that Frothing died. He needs 1. Oh, he only needs 1 more spell. He should be totally fine. What is it? 21. Wait, what? Don't tease me. Oh, he's got 1 more. Okay, yeah, he's got it. What is this gonna go up to? Another 5, so 26 damage, I think. It's not bad. If only we got to use it, huh? So now I'm in a bad spot again. What a crazy good turn. I think Wild Pyromancer is criminally underrated as a card, by the way. I just don't know how I win now, though. I mean, we can hit a big brawl maybe after he's out of gas. He's got some cards left in hand. I'm a little worried about burst damage still, though. We have quite a bit of health for that, at least. 7 and 5, so 12 total cards here. Hogger might still be good to see. Just go ahead and Ravage and Ghoul it, maybe. Let's see how much of this sticks. He can clearly kill it and damage those, but if he keeps going wide on the board, he may not be expecting a brawl, so that could help. Does this deck have any good matchups? I don't think so. I have used Sudden Genesis, as you probably just saw. I'm way behind on chat here. What about Shadow Word Silence? Never heard of that card. I think you mean both those cards, though. Task the Cairn, Ravaging Genesis, Prophet. Well, we did hit a double Cairn there. 3 mana, 26-0, Frothing Berserker. Yeah, great card. I don't have to brawl yet, I don't think. Cruel can just kill this, maybe. Never mind. Oh my god! I think that's wrong. He just drew a ton of cards. Like, I think we can fatigue this guy, right? Unless he's going for the kill here. But he's already used double Divine Spirit and an Inner Fire. Was one of these gifted off Shadow Visions? I don't know that it was, because it doesn't show it here in the list as being a gifted card. By the way, is that over my face? You guys gotta tell me when that's over my face. I forget every time. I'm just gonna play this down as a sort of stall mechanic and then hit the big brawl next turn, I think. Or soon thereafter. Quest Rogue is really the only thing I hate with Unguro, says Joey Link Master. I kind of agree with that sentiment sometimes. Oh, do not kill me with my own dude, please. No, sir. He's got to be careful here if he does do like some kind of shenanigan. He's not going to be able to kill this now, and then I'm going to be able to trade it back into his best minion here. He has... Oh my god, I just can't... I don't think I can abide by the card draws when you're in fatigue right now. I don't know. Just for a few extra damage? I don't think it's worth it. And he killed off half his board. I just don't think I can abide by that. Doesn't make sense to me. Alright, so he's used double Inner Fire, double Divine Spirit. He's got a Purify left, but that doesn't really help him because this attacking is not that big of a concern. The question I'm trying to answer right now is, should I just go ahead and brawl? Or should I just kill everything but the Humongous Razor Leaf? Because I could, right? I could trade Ravaging Ghoul, Cruel Task. I'd have a 3/3 and a 2/2. And in fact, even an Acolyte. But I don't know that I'd ever get brawl value again. But I guess since I can resolve the board, I just should, right? Like, it should just go ahead and happen. There's no reason to, like... He's only got 5 cards left, and he's taking fatigue damage every turn. We have so many more cards, I can even afford to play the Acolyte here. Like, there's very little risk in that. Can't believe we bled this guy out. That seems insane, especially when he got, like, 49 Lyra cards, it felt like. Did I just see you drinking something that is not Diet Mountain Dew, says Clint. You did. I got Coke Zero today. I like Coke Zero too. I'm like 80% Diet Mountain Dew and 20% Coke Zero. Not to mention, I also do actually drink water and stuff sometimes too, but it always feels awkward on stream to use the water bottle because it's like, you gotta unscrew it and it's loud and like, I don't know. More work than it's worth. She's going for damage here. 3 cards left in hand. One is Greater Healing Potion, which, I mean, that buys him some time, but at the end of the day, I don't know that it does enough. I think once I kill this, the game will basically be over. Should have drawn first, I guess, technically, but... I just can't believe that somehow, despite not using Brawl, it's only taken 23 cards to bleed out this entire deck. What did we do to do that? I guess he damaged a lot of his own stuff with the Wild Pyro. It's just crazy to think that we're not even like a traditional control deck, and yet somehow... I don't know how we did that. Like, that's... very, very interesting to me. Let's play one more game, guys. Like, we've gained a star or two, right? Like, we're not in the negative, I don't think, yet. Maybe we are, maybe we lost a couple in a row when we were at 0 stars, who knows. Regis, thanks for the vids, says Daniel Purdom. I used your mid-range hunter and advice about Pirate and Taunt Warriors to get to rank 5 for the first time ever last month. That's awesome, Daniel. First off, congrats on the new high, and I'm happy that I can help at least a little bit along the way. That's always the goal, so it's great to hear that. Coke, Cherry, and Vanilla Coke are, ooh. Well, that's sad to hear. I like Coke, man. Cherry Coke in particular is pretty good. Although I only drink the diet stuff. But the Coca-Cola Vanilla Zero is incredibly good for a diet soda. I wish I had it at the store I was at, but they didn't. So, kind of stuck there. I can tell why you won. It's because of Genesis. Too much value. Well, honestly, the double Cairn Bloodhoof was somewhat significant in that game. A 5-mana Cairn there wasn't the worst play in history. I think this deck would be better without Sudden Genesis. Like, we could cut this and add in 2 cards, and I think we'd just be better off with, like, a tempo-type warrior. But, it wasn't absolutely terrible. It does allow you to create copies of cards you otherwise couldn't copy. We've seen some potential lines where it's made a little bit of sense, which is nice. Is this another, like, aggro pirate, or maybe just Miracle? I think we can still wait and do the same kind of thing we did last time. Coin, Ravaging, Frothing. If he does play a big 2-drop, we could weapon if we want. And then follow up with Blood to Ichor Ravaging next turn or something. You know Dr. Pepper kills your sperm, right? Never heard that. But I don't really drink much Dr. Pepper. But maybe not the worst side effect ever, right? Maybe not the worst. Don't congratulate viewers for getting high. Hey, they can do whatever they want, man. They want to get high, good on them. Joppy42 says your YouTube videos are amazing. Thanks, Joppy, dude. Happy you enjoy them. Using Gromash in a deck, subbed. Yeah, man, I love Grom. I feel like we haven't seen Grom as much lately, but sure missed the guy. Mimic Pod. I think I'll just play this on curve. It might be hard for him to deal with without like good combo potential with Eviscerate or something. We could have played the Acolyte too, but this feels better when I can self-activate it. This is just a bigger threat to be proactive with, so I think I prefer playing it basically in this order. A little more. Daniel Armsbake asks, hey Regis, I got 2 quests that I want... They want me to play 10 weapons and 20 pirates. Any suggestion on what deck I should use? Yeah, Pirate Rogue. Clearly Pirate Warrior would be just fine. No shame in playing Pirate Warrior, man. Don't let people get you down. It's a fine deck. It's not nearly as degenerate as Quest Rogue, so it's no longer the greatest evil in Hearthstone. I prefer the Cherry Coke Zero, says Clint. It's good too. Can't go wrong with that one either. But I really like that Vanilla Coke Zero. For some reason it tastes so smooth. You can use a priest deck with Thought Steal and hope you meet some pirate decks. That's a good idea, too. My week has been good. Matthew Sutcliffe, thanks for asking. Okay, cool. Can handle that, I think. Ravaging Ghoul or something here would be insane. Oh, Sudden Genesis. Whirlwind Sudden Genesis would be like the dream board, finally. This would be the board. This is what we want. This is exactly it. I don't think we'll get it, though. Even Blood to Ichor Sudden Genesis wouldn't be bad here. We'd get a 5/5 and a 3/2 for 5 mana. That's not bad. It's not like a dream, but it's not bad. Finally caught a stream, Regis. Are you shutting it down right away? Says Curtis the Third. No, actually. I'm going to be streaming for a little while today. Let's see. What time is it? It's almost 4. I'm going to stream for almost another 3 hours, actually, Curtis. I got some time today, so it won't always be the case, unfortunately. But for today, I can actually make it work a little. So we're going to hang out for a bit. 5 mana, double your board, versus 10 mana, summon up to 6 minions. Yeah, I think Sudden Genesis is inferior to N'Zoth. That's for sure. When's the arena run? Soon, I think. I think I'll be doing arena probably after this game, in fact. I think we've gotten a pretty good feel for the Sudden Genesis Warrior. We've actually won some games, which is always nice. Okay.
Aha!
Not the craziest utilization of resources, I would argue. Use the weapon charge, which is interesting. I don't know what it means yet, but it's interesting, to say the least. Blood to Ichor trade, just play another Acolyte, another weapon, seems fine. Or not trade, a weapon, I should say. So he can hit the shares and, you know, but how many more times is it going to work? I mean, if he hits Auctioneer, I guess he can go off more, but these cards are unpredictable. They were the gift cards, but hello, says Key Destroyer. Just noticed me. Oh, you've been noticed, man. Hello, welcome to the stream. Do you think that Murloc is a Shaman deck instead of a Pally deck? Well, weirdly enough, Blizzard has been putting, Murlocs in both classes. Which neither one seems particularly intuitive for it. But no, Murloc Paladin has worked incredibly well so far this expansion. So right now, it definitely feels more like a Paladin deck, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense. I maybe should have just played the Hogger in hindsight. My health is getting a little low, so I'm that was the incentive, but we're not gonna die, so this could have came later, I think. But the Hogger is, of course, a little better too if we can activate it immediately, so that's perhaps another reason to save it.
I got the best deal anywhere.
This could definitely be the Sherazin comeback turn. Sudden Genesis might actually be good this turn. Depending on what lives and dies and so on and so forth. That's not good. Grom trading into the Auctioneer, though, is pretty cool. We can just weapon Grom, and then that sets up a really interesting Sudden Genesis next turn if you can't deal with it, right? Really interesting. Oh god, though. I actually could have saved that for lethal almost. I didn't even think about his health total. Jeez. I didn't have a way to activate it this turn, but if I'd saved it till turn 10, although, I mean, it's also presenting lethal now if he doesn't kill it. He's already doubly vist, so I don't know how he answers this, unless he got, like, Execute he can use. But he could have already used that, I think he would have. Vile Spine's another answer, I suppose. He's 20 cards deep, so second Vile Spine is likely. In that case, we can Hogger Cruel. Still continue to create armor via the Armor Smith, so I think we're good. 3 more hours, the girlfriend must be out for the evening with crack sounds. That is accurate. She's at work until 7, which is when I would be getting off, so. Yep, you nailed it, actually. Well done, sir. Also, just a window at work, which is nice. Yeah, Blizzard has stuck Murlocs in a lot of different classes. I don't know what the deal is there, but it's fine. Oh my god, you actually said my name right. Oh, every time I do that, people say that, and then I forget how I said it, and I feel like, perhaps... perhaps I missed it. That's just a death. What? That's how you die. Oh, don't concede. Don't concede. Let me get it up. Don't concede. No! All I wanted was to double my Grom, dude. That's all I wanted. That's all I... But you can imagine if he'd been at, like, 16 health or something and we didn't have lethal immediately on board, Sudden Genesis would have been amazing. But unfortunately, we kind of did have lethal, so... Mr. Memer, Keystroyer, and Dowsy, thanks guys for the follows. Also, Finnaboys, I think I might have missed you earlier. Appreciate it, dudes. Thanks for hanging out. So, I guess now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the arena, guys. Let's do an arena run. I think, actually, let me sum up the deck a little more. I think that was playable. I don't think it was this card, though, right? I think this was a Tempo Warrior, which is a fine deck. I think this deck works for what it does, but there's, you know, better options. Perhaps even here, like, you maybe don't even need these cards anymore, and you could add in better stuff, right? And then it's just a Tempo Warrior. Tempo Warrior base, which had some additions. So we won games via Tempo stuff, but I don't know that Sudden Genesis was relevant at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure it wasn't ever really relevant. So, not a super successful Decksperiment there. And there you have it. That was the Sudden Genesis Warrior. In some way or another, we actually won some games, but as I already mentioned in the video itself, I don't really think Sudden Genesis contributed to that fact at all. I think it just happened to be a couple extra cards. I still don't see a great way to make this thing work. It seems like a pretty throwaway card from the expansion, which of course is unfortunate when it's an epic like that, but all the same, maybe someday there'll be some way to utilize this card in a really interesting way. So until then, if you guys have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please do leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, game on.